Hello, welcome to this week's new vlog. I wanted to start off this weekly vlog because I haven't done one in a bit. It'll be a little weird because it's not like a Monday to Sunday vlog. However, I just wanted to pop on before I head out to work because I did just finish my 100th book of the year. I'm doing my reread of the Slam Dunk series. If you've been watching my vlogs this year, you'll know this is a really great series about high school basketball that I highly recommend. There's a new movie out about it as well that I was able to see once in Japan as well as in New York last month. The next book that I will be taking with me on my commute is Shmutz by Felicia. My sister told me about this because it is such a funny concept, and originally when she told me about it I thought it was like a memoir. It is about a Orthodox Jewish woman at 18 years old is expected to find a husband and be married. She ends up completing her college degree on a hidden computer and falls down the slippery slope of online pornography. And I think it's about discovering herself through that and like a totally different world while also still being within this really orthodox religious community. And so I thought that concept was really funny and interesting because they're such, I feel like, opposites, you know? I'm not quite sure what else I will be reading. I would like to get to the BTS memoir because I have not yet gotten to that either. I do have another library book that I kind of borrowed on a whim just because this is a book or a series of Karin that I have not read before. I didn't really know anything about it. I've never heard anything about it, but I do really enjoy Karin Slaughter's writing, so this is an option as well. It's going to be a pretty weird time. I'm gonna have a different vlog on that, but I'm excited to be starting on this first one. We're in the process of moving, and this is what the dining room looks like right now. It's so weird. The living room is totally rearranged as well. I took a night shower because I know I'm gonna have to be up early. We're getting the keys tomorrow. It's weird because I'm filming like multiple vlogs, so I don't know like what to show in each one. But I read so much of Shmutz. It's literary fiction, but I'm actually enjoying so much of my time with this one because I think just like I said earlier, the concept of this is so interesting. And this Hasidic world exists in the same city that I live in, the same borough in Brooklyn, but it's so different to the way that I live that I feel like that is also really cool in reading and seeing Razel talking about porn in these Yiddish terms and coming up with new terms to help her sort of like understand and process whatever she's going through. So I am almost done with the book. I'd like to finish it today if I'm able to. I only have this much left. I don't know what the heck happened here, but I didn't end up finishing Shmutz last night, but it's like too little for me to bring to work because I'm definitely gonna finish it on my commute and then I'm gonna be stuck with like a hardcover, and I don't want to bring two hardcovers, so I think that I'm just going to read as much as I can while I'm here, before I leave, and if I finish it, that's great. I think I will end up bringing Blindsighted with me because I cannot figure out what else to read. I think that like a mystery will be really great and easy to work through because I'm yet again another book behind. As long as I finish Shmutz, that's fine. I'll wait to read the manga until I'm like settled in my new home maybe, because that's when I'll have time. I think anytime I'm back here is going to be spent like packing up my stuff. This is the present Coda got for me. Oh my gosh. Obviously from my Disney vlog you could tell, but I love Miss Marie. I'm so excited to use her. I turned off the AC for this. I wanted to talk because I lied, right? I brought two books with me and I finished Shmutz on the train, and I was quickly able to start the other book, which is Blindsighted by Karin Slaughter. I think I'm giving this like 4.25 stars. I found this to be really enjoyable. The ending, with it being literary fiction and there like not really being like a clear plot ending because it is literary fiction, I kind of was disappointed in that, and I wanted to know what more would happen in Razel's life. I was really invested. I feel like this book, should it become a lot more popular, it could kind of like take the world by storm, kind of like how the show Unorthodox did. I think that was like a docudrama. I really liked that show because again it shows like a completely different world within the world that I live in. And I think though this is a little bit more racy, right, because she cannot stop masturbating, which is like really funny in itself. But I really enjoyed following Razel along her journey of like asking questions about the modern world versus how she currently lives, and how much yearning she had to discover new things. That should be okay, and that she should be able to explore that. And I hope that in the end that she found peace, and that the way that she's living right now is okay, and that she's able to like find people who accept that part of her and maybe want to explore that part too. I really enjoyed this, so I definitely recommend this one. I did start Karin Slaughter's book, like I said, Blindsighted, which is the first Grant County thriller. Apparently this one is a reprint, so she had a little author's note in 2020 about why she writes a lot of books about violent crime against women. And it's not that like the crime itself is what interests her. She's interested in why people commit crimes like this, and she writes strong characters because she wants it to reflect real people, that women don't always need to be saved and the women are the ones doing the saving. But already this starts out quite brutal. If you've read anything by Karin Slaughter, you know that it is pretty tough to stomach. So she lives in a small Georgia town, as her books typically do. We're following a town pediatrician, but she's also the coroner, Sarah, and she discovers in the diner when she's out for lunch the local college professor brutally mutilated. Her ex-husband is the current police chief, Jeffrey, and he obviously is leading the investigation, and they find another crucified woman days later, and then another one a few days later, and they find they have a serial killer on their hands. And the first victim's sister is also a detective, and she wants her own justice for this. So we're following these three main characters, I believe. I haven't read much. I've only read like 40 pages of it, but it's also like a mass market paperback edition, so I think it's gonna make it a lot easier to read. And it also like fits in the new bag that Coda got me. It's so stinking cute, so I'm definitely looking forward to continuing more of this. Hello! Long time no vlog. I woke up and showered and just unpacked a few boxes. My new mattress came, so I set that up. I just put on the sheets because I didn't want to have to do it after work and like be so tired to do that. I'm almost done with Blindsighted. I kind of was hoping I would finish it yesterday. It's very brutal. I knew that this was the first book in the Grant County series, but I didn't know that this is Karin Slaughter's debut novel. It's very forensic heavy. The main character is a coroner, so there's a lot of like medical terms, which I don't hate. I do enjoy like watching crime shows and like reading books like this from the detectives or whoever's point of view. It's just like more than what I've noticed in her other novels, and I'm wondering if that was like a conscious decision for her other books since she's been writing for like 20 years. There's only so much of the book left, and you don't really know who the perpetrator is, and I'm wondering if it's going to be like part of the series. Like, are we only going to be following this detective, this police chief, and this coroner, or is this whole case going to be like a whole series? Because 2 women have now been assaulted, 1 is dead. It's a lot. It's very like so many trigger warnings. It feels weird to say I'm enjoying it because I've said that, but the story is definitely keeping me intrigued. I'm interested on seeing who it is, but also like how this main character, Sarah, will like be okay. It's a little high up here because I'm short and I'm on my tippy toes. My sister went to Verizon today and she set us up with Wi-Fi. Amazing. So now I feel like I can get cracking on video editing again. I haven't touched my laptop in a week. It feels like I'm working on 10 different videos right now because it's all piling up, but I think in reality it's more like 3 to 4 that I can finally start getting those up because I haven't uploaded in like 3 weeks. I also finished my book yesterday, so I'm feeling really good. We're gonna start a new book today because I'm also behind on my Goodreads goal, haha, broken record and all that shit.
Simply resting her eyes. Also amazing progression of all of these cases.
I'm eating a really late lunch. It's already 4 o'clock. I went to the nearby bagel place and the bagel's so good. I lightly toasted it, but so good. I went to Target, like did all these errand things, got a new book at the library for the book club, so I might read that first. I did start the Intern a little bit as well. Just want to say disclaimer, I am reading. I had to come on because this bagel is so good. You know that like my lunch that I always have are bagels, so this, lovely. I didn't get to talk at all about The Intern by Michelle Campbell, which is my book of the month pick for September. I read like a decent chunk yesterday. This is sort of a political, like a legal thriller, a mystery. Our main character, Miranda, it's Madison, her name is Madison. She is a student at Harvard Law and she becomes the intern for her like idol, this judge. The judge is the whole reason why Madison decided to study law. She has a troubled younger brother who's been arrested for a drug charge, and turns out this judge, Judge Conroy, is the judge on his case. Madison is figuring out that she might be a little bit corrupt and her brother goes missing and she has to figure out, is Judge Conroy the victim or a criminal? I found out yesterday while reading this that the book is told in like different parts. First, it starts out in the point of view of Madison, which is, she's kind of annoying. It reads a little bit too young for me, for someone who's supposed to be like relatively close to my age. The next part is Judge Conroy, and I think it's supposed to flip-flop back and forth just so the reader gets confused as to whether or not Judge Conroy is actually the victim or the criminal. She is sus, and I don't know if like her past or her upbringing kind of excuses what she's been doing. We're getting deeper into what's sort of going on, why she's doing the things that she's doing. I would say that part makes it a little bit more interesting. So far, where I'm up to, I've read like 140 pages. Madison's younger brother, Danny, hasn't gone missing. He's like in jail, so I don't really know what they're gonna be doing to him. So far, it's cool. It's not like giving me too much. She has written a few other books, former lawyer herself. I don't know if it's like the best writing style that I love. I've been listening to so much more 1975 because I'm going to their concert in November. I'm not like a really big fan, but I'm tagging along essentially to this concert, so I want to make sure that I enjoy it and I actually know their songs. I occasionally listen to them, but not enough to like go to a concert. Anyway, last night I stayed up a little bit past my bedtime, like way past my bedtime, to finish reading The Intern by Michelle Campbell. I kind of just really needed to finish it. I didn't like it. I'm giving this book 2 stars. I don't know how this author has like other books and is still getting away with writing this way. Like her editor needs to get on top of it, because I found the writing and the dialogue to be very unnatural. Like you need to read that shit out loud because people don't actually talk like that. It felt very stiff and just like so obviously written. Nothing really flowed very well together. The plot was sort of fast, but I wish that it was more interesting because the plot itself sounds good, right? When you read the blurb, it sounds really cool. It's missing so much more excitement and suspense because all of the characters, like you know every single one of the bad guys from like the beginning. It didn't make that fun at all because like what's the point of this being kind of a mystery and whether or not Judge Conroy is really a bad person or not when you give that shit away so fast. I am seriously considering pausing or something, or canceling even my subscription with Book of the Month, because lately I think all the picks that I've been having are really bad and they haven't been enjoyable, and that's why I kind of like have a backlist of my Book of the Month books now, because I don't look forward to reading them anymore, and I have skipped a few months already this year, which is like kind of works because I have too many books on my not yet shelf. Also, with this author Michelle Campbell being a lawyer already and like a Harvard grad herself, where this book takes place, I feel like not necessarily that they were bragging, but it just felt a little bit too info dumpy. It went into too much detail about all of the wrong things. The author just needed to show more than tell. Like I don't need all these like full paragraphs of like why she couldn't open up like a tuna can or some shit like that. That's so unimportant, okay? And I didn't feel like any of the characters had any depth to them. I feel like the author was really trying to give them. I feel like the main character being a Latina character kind of was just a huge afterthought, and the author would throw in some Spanish words and gave her a Latin last name, and thought that was okay, but I feel like that was just so irrelevant to the character. 2 stars for me. This supposed weekly vlog has been going on for so long that I had to look back at my clips to see what I was reading. I'm gonna be doing my wrap up here. I read Shmutz by Felicia, which I gave 4 stars. Really liked that. I've been recommending that to people. I think it's like a good time. I think it's funny. For the second book, I read Blindsighted by Karin, which is always a really tough, brutal time, but I gave that 3 stars, which I think is not bad for her debut novel. And then of course with The Intern by Campbell, I gave that 2 stars. I really am behind on my Goodreads goal, like legitimately this time. It's getting up there again. I'm now 4 to 5 books behind again. So I need to hop back into reading. I'm excited to start a new book. I have a video idea that's like very delayed, but she's there, and I hope to see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.